On April 19, 1995, Polly Nichols needed immediate emergency care. An employee in the Journal Record Building just across from the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, Polly was grievously injured in the Oklahoma City bombing that killed 168 people. Rushed to a nearby emergency room, Polly would survive. But like so many, she was forever changed by that moment. Raised in McAlester, Polly was the daughter of a librarian and an entrepreneur. Her parents encouraged her and her brother Charlie in their educations. As a young adult, Polly's interest in political science and civics took her to the Library of Congress, where she performed research for the legislative branch of the federal government. There, she received a call from a fellow Oklahoman who was working in D.C. as a Supreme Court clerk. Larry Nichols was calling at the request of his aunt, who wrote him suggesting he call on the daughter of one of her McAlester classmates, who was also working in D.C. Larry called little Polly Puckett, and they met for the first time on the steps of the United States Supreme Court. 4 years later, they would marry, move back to Oklahoma, and start Devon Energy with Larry's father. Together, Polly and Larry built a family and a life. They became parents to 2 children, Sally and Tyler, and eventually 4 grandchildren. Intent on living a life full of family, friends, and discovery, Polly's worldview has been shaped by travel and by her gracious service to organizations including the Junior League, Science Museum of Oklahoma, Allied Arts, Boy and Girl Scouts, the United Way, and the Oklahoma Center for Nonprofits.
My friendship with Polly is special enough and personal enough that Polly would correct me once upon a time and say, Mike, I am not a victim of the Oklahoma City bombing. Mike, I'm a survivor. I'm a survivor of the Oklahoma City bombing.
So we worked closely for a number of years, and her input and her leadership has just grown. Former chairman of the memorial and museum, and Polly's just been an integral part of what we have built.
She supported public schools as executive director for the Oklahoma Foundation for Excellence. And that's where she was in 1995 when the bomb went off. While the Oklahoma City bombing certainly had a profound impact on Polly, Polly has profoundly impacted the way the bombing will forever be remembered and how its victims will be honored. She helped raise $29 million to start the Oklahoma City National Memorial and Museum.
Many days I think about Polly Nichols. I think, what would Polly do? What would Polly's leadership style be? How would she make this happen for the nonprofits in Oklahoma? I've had the privilege of all the years I've lived in Oklahoma watching Polly maneuver and make things happen.
Well, I think Polly exudes the 3 tenets of the Oklahoma Standard. I mean, she absolutely understands service to others.
She has led us with example, by example, through everything we've done at the Oklahoma City National Memorial Museum. She is our heart and soul, and she has helped us build one of the most magnificent memorials and museums in the whole world on that sacred ground in Oklahoma City.
This month, Polly and Larry Nichols will celebrate 50 years of marriage. We are proud to celebrate with them and to honor Polly tonight for a life filled with moments spent in service to her family, to her community, and to building a better world.